Welcome to my commentary tutorial for Mercs for the Sega Genesis. This is a playthrough of the normal arcade mode. And I just completed this a few minutes ago, so it should be pretty fresh in my mind. So I'll try to elaborate on everything that's going on. It's a pretty easy game for the Genesis. The last two levels are where it's kind of challenging. Mainly the final level. I have a few tricks, though, that I'll explain that'll make things a lot easier. I used save and load states to practice the last two levels, because I was able to get to the semi-final level on my first try today, but and that was after not playing for a very long time, so it wasn't hard to get there, but the last two levels can be tricky if you don't have... if you don't practice them and have them down. So yeah, for the first boss, basically just run up to him and unload your gun and just, use all your bombs, and that's it. That's all you have to do for that. There's really no, you don't have to dodge anything, so it's very easy. And I'll have some room here to discuss other things as well, because a lot of this is pretty standard. I mostly use the spread shot, the green spread shot, for the entire game for the most part. Unless I'm in a vehicle and forced to use another weapon, but I find the spread shot to be really good. Make sure you get those power-ups, the ones that say, 1-up or power. They make your gun stronger, so you want to get those. And I think collecting the same gun that you already have may also power up the one you have. It also seems to work. Don't spend a lot of time here trying to kill everything. Just try to get past everything. But if you find yourself getting shot repeatedly by a tank, they can strip your health, so then you may have to kill some of them. I was just using the bombs here just to clear the enemies out so I can run through. It'll make it a lot easier, if you just try to get the fuck out of there most of the time, whenever you can. Don't fight shit when you don't have to. This is very easy, this boss. You just, stand here and get a bunch of bullets in. Use your bombs when you're about to get hit. That's the best way to use them, when you can. Then just move to the side here and just shoot them from the side. Maybe a few diagonal shots. Try to avoid the flame, but he shouldn't give you too much trouble. Yeah, this is a classic Genesis game for sure. It's one that I rented from a grocery store, Albertsons, a long-ass time ago when I was really young. And I rented it several times because I really liked it. I never was able to beat it. And there's actually a mode called Original Mode that has a whole different layout. And it's like a survival mode where if one of your guys dies, he's permanently dead. And you have several characters you can use with different abilities. You really have to know how to specialize for different parts and what characters to use where and when. Very cool fucking mode that Bob Ruppels actually beat. My friend that comes on sometimes. And I never really played it much or beat it, but I'd like to try that sometime next, maybe. I never beat it when I was younger, but it was cool to beat it today. Yeah, for this, pretty standard. For that turret gun that you saw me take out, try to save your bombs if you can and shoot it to death, but if it's starting to cause you a problem, maybe use a bomb. You don't need to use more than one bomb on it, though. You want to try to save your bombs for the bosses whenever possible. You can use those turret guns here when you shoot out one of the guys, but I just found it easier to try to stay out of the range of their bullets, because their bullets can only travel so far before they end. And your shots go across the entire screen, so you're going to be exploiting that a lot if you don't want to get hit. You see how I'm staying back here, just out of the range of those pellets. The missiles, I think, may be able to go across the full screen, but the pellets cannot, so... just stay just out of range of the pellets and shoot everybody down from the distance when you can. You'll really want to use that in the semi-final level. You'll see how I exploit it there. Because the parts can be much, much harder if you try to get in the middle of the enemies. This guy I always found hard. I always lost a continue on this guy. You know, I don't really know how to really dodge him that well. I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time practicing because I usually just did this kind of shit, you know. But so yeah, I don't have like a good strategy. I would just say, you know, you don't want to waste more than one continue on this guy. So just try to get as many bullets in as you can before he kills you, and use your bombs when you're about to get hit, if possible. You know, pretty much the usual strategy for a lot of these bosses. You'll see for the final boss, there's a way to really cut it down to the wire where you almost die. You come just an inch from death, but if you do it right, you can just walk straight up to the final boss and gun him down to death, and by using your bombs, which I'll explain when we get to that part, but it's a real simple technique. I found that I was able to do it multiple times in a row in practice, so it definitely works. Pretty consistent, but it's very close. Yeah, I fucked up pretty bad there on those divers, as you can see. I usually don't fuck up on those guys like that. I don't know why I did so badly. They're sneaky. Like, if you don't, you know, because there's a delay when your bullets come out, and if you're just holding the button down, then they can kip through those gaps instead, which is annoying. So yeah, I didn't do too well on that. And that set me up to have pretty much no life for the boss, so I may die here. But yeah, there's no reason to do as badly as I did on the early part of the level, but, you know, sometimes shit does happen. As you said, usually just wait till I'm about to get hit and then I use a bomb. But it didn't, you know, it didn't get me out of that situation. Once the flame came out, I was pretty much fucked. I had like no life, so... You know, in that situation, sometimes you get fucked over. I'm sure there's probably a way to play these bosses without taking any damage. I just, you know, I haven't played the game that much. I just wanted to beat it. That's always my primary goal when I first play through a game, just to beat it. Nothing fancy. Yeah, collect all the items here, and I think I wasted more time than I should have fighting this tank, which can be a pain in the ass, so I started using bombs. I shouldn't have really lost that much life. I probably should have just used the bombs from the beginning. You know, I used like maybe 2 bombs on them. The tanks can be very, very annoying and very damaging. Yeah, maybe sometime soon I'll try the original mode and try to learn that and maybe put that together. I definitely want to get on that mode at some point because it's a great fucking game. Definitely a classic Genesis game. It's a port of the arcade version, but it's a great game on the Genesis. What I love about the home ports of these games is that they have penalties for death, so you actually have to learn how to play them. Where on the arcade, you know, you can keep pumping in points and start from where you died in most of them. Though, as I've mentioned, there's a lot of console-style arcade games that punish you and they can send you back. But, you know, a lot of them don't. I'm not sure about Mercs for arcade. I'm guessing it's probably just let you start right where you died. But, of course, you can set your own restrictions in arcade games. So, that, you know, that's one way to make them, like, closer to console style. But they're not really designed for that. So it's not the same. It's not the same kind of feel, you know. This is the hardest boss in the game for me. I find him to be a pain in the ass because it goes on for a while. And this part's kind of tricky because it's kind of hard to predict where the missiles are going to come down. I'm guessing there's probably a pattern you can memorize, but I always get hit by like one missile. It's usually just one missile, but you know, it does a lot of damage. It's annoying. So I don't have any great tips for dodging that. For these, just shoot up at them and just, it's very easy to predict when the bullets are going to come out. So just stay away from the front of the cannon when the bullet's going to come out and shoot the cannon. And then these turrets get in closer and it gets a little trickier. Just try to dodge the best you can and shoot up at those. Take all those out. But you'll see I was a continue on this, and it's not a big deal. If you've learned the last few levels, then it doesn't really matter too much. If not, the last levels can be very difficult if you don't know what's going on. But they're not bad in practice. It took me a little bit over an hour of practice to get the game down, and then another 18 minutes to beat it, because it takes 18 minutes to beat. So it was about an hour and 22 minutes. Yeah, but basically you just, at the end there, you just stay against the right and just pump all your bullets into them once all the turrets are gone. I mean, you still got to worry about the missiles raining down, but I didn't even try to dodge those. I just pumped bullets into them. I didn't have any great strategy for that guy. He's a hard boss for sure. But it's okay if you only lose one continue on him. You're probably all right, as long as you did well on everything else. I may have even had a continue remaining at this point, an extra one that I never ended up using, because I don't die at all from this point on. So I'll try to explain. These are the hardest parts of the game, so I'll try to explain everything. I stayed down here as low as I can out of range of those pellets. The missiles can hit you anywhere on the screen. There's no you can't use the walls or anything to shield yourself. They can hit you anywhere. So I stay down as low as I can and just stay out of range of the pellets and shoot up at him until he dies. And this guy, I try to do a similar technique, but I get a little bit closer in. I took a little bit more risk there because it gets dangerous in that area. And make sure you go to the right and collect some of the health items. Sometimes you'll just get ribbons, but they will give you some health back, so it's always worth getting that. I just get the same gun I already have. I think it may power it up, but I think it might already been maxed out. So I don't think it did anything. I'm not sure. But I just get it for the hell of it. Fuck it. Why not, man? I could always use more, Here you just shoot diagonally from immediately. You just switch sides. Very simple. There's not much to explain there. I mean, you can see what I'm doing very easily. Not much to say. Then just immediately start shooting up, and you'll have enough time to take those out before they hit you. You should have a powered up gun of choice. For my tutorial, I'm recommending you use a spread gun and fully power that up. It really works. It works really well. I didn't really try the other weapons too much because I like this one. I like the spread gun. Maybe it's because of Contra, but I thought it was really effective. It does good damage when it takes it out. So from here, instead of going up on the platform when it stops, just go right. Because if you go up, you'll miss the opportunity to get some of the items, or at least the missiles, because it won't let you scroll the screen back down, which is it's bullshitty. But what do you expect? This part is very specific. What you do is inch up on the directional pad very slightly until the electricity shoots out, like right in front of your face, not on you obviously, but it shoots out right across from where you're standing, like a centimeter from you. When it does that, wait for it to stop and press up immediately to pass it, and just keep doing that. You have to lure the electric bolts to come out. They won't just come out. It's like when you're within a vicinity, they'll come out. So you gotta learn that. For this part, I stayed just out of range of the pellets again. See, and instead of taking any damage, I took no damage. So that's really where you start exploiting this technique. And that's what I kind of learned from practicing. And then I used it on the previous levels after practicing. Because I had to replay and do it legit, so I was able to use that on other areas as well. Same type of technique here, just staying at the bottom. I take out the jet because it shoots these little bullets from the front that are hard to pass by if you don't kill it. It was just easier to kill the jet and get it out of there. There's also a part previously to that with some moving platforms that I had to dodge. Very easy to dodge, though. Just make sure you dodge them and shoot the guys. If there's any guys moving around, just get them out of there, but continue dodging. You'll see how I dodge. It's a very simple pattern, so just check that. I didn't have enough time to explain that because, the tutorial's moving kind of fast. Here, just stay out of range, and it's the same technique you've been doing, and just take care of the guys that come behind you. You don't want to let them move around. And the spread shot will take care of everything if you stay in range. If you get in range, you'll get destroyed. For here, I just did a very easy technique where I just move left and right on his body. See what I'm doing? Right against his body, and I just use the bombs when the missiles are about to hit me. And by the time all my missiles are gone, I have enough health left to where I can gun them down. And that was my cheap little strategy that I used in practice, and I used it again here, and I didn't die, so that's all I cared about, not dying. I found it very fucking hard to dodge those missiles when I was just trying to dodge them. I found it like I could dodge some of them, but when like two of them came out at the same, two volleys came out, I always got hit. Now for this part coming up, there's a very easy technique for this guy. Walk straight up, hold the fire button, and when the missiles are about to hit you, use your bombs. And that's it. You'll barely survive. You'll be, a centimeter from death, but you shouldn't lose and continue. You see, I barely survived that. Probably one more hit and I would have been dead, but that's you got to do it exactly like that and you won't die. So yeah, so that's it. So that should make the last two levels very manageable. Because I learned that through, practicing for a while. As I mentioned, most of my time spent was on those two last levels, because the rest of the game wasn't a problem for me. The two last levels were tricky. But yeah, really great game for the system. Definitely, it's one of the great early black box Genesis games where they ported over some great arcade games like Strider. Alex Kidd is a fun game too. I mean, it's not the best game, but it's kind of a fun old game, Alex Kidd on the Genesis. Of course, Altered Beast, Strider, Mercs. Flicky is a fun, simple arcade-style game that I never owned. It's fun. Ghouls and Ghosts. There was a bunch of them that were really good. Last Battle, not so much. Didn't like that game too much. Dynamite Duke was a lot of fun. Alien Storm. I'm trying to remember some more of the black box games. There was a nice amount of them for the early Genesis. But yeah, it started off strong with those games. Golden Axe, of course, I can't really miss that. Streets of Rage, I mean, there's a lot. I think Streets of Rage was black box, the original one. But yeah, there was a lot of them. Genesis was a very strong console. Yeah, so I hope the tutorial was helpful. I know it's not that hard of a game, but I'll try to do the tutorials just in general on a lot of my playthroughs when possible. The newer games, maybe not so much for now because they would be like, some of them are like 30 parts. These new games are long. So you might be looking at 20 hours of gameplay. But if there's requests for it and people actually are interested in seeing commentary on some of them, like I did Gears of War 4, the Insane Mode, God Hand on Hard. I mean, I could always go back to those and add commentary. Though I think it's better to do it when I freshly beat something, because then I remember everything. I went back to some of these games that I beat 3 years ago, like Jim Power on the Super Nintendo, and I was able to do a good commentary on it, but I'm sure it's not as good as it would have been if I did it right after I beat the game. I got commentary a little bit late, so now I'm trying to catch up. I redid some older games that I beat, some of the harder stuff. But moving forward now, I think I'm going to try to do it on a lot of the games that I beat, especially the older games that are single video games, or only a few, like maybe 5 videos, the ones that aren't super long. But we'll see. I'm probably going to extend into the newer games in time, do more, do maybe full. I'll probably do some full ones, 30-part commentary, but that'll probably come later. Thanks for watching.